Hey, what's up, YouTubers? Hey, coming at you with FrugalBC. I remember all my different properties here. This is my very first video on this channel. I have written the Frugal Wheels blog, frugalwheels.com blog for a couple of years now, and I've been saving and investing for quite some time beyond that. So today, make sure if you like, hey, if you like what I'm talking about here, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, especially this early in the game. It's really, really helpful because I want to show this to more people because I want to offer you, I want to teach people how to do this well, and I want to help people save money and invest more and grow your net worth. So today I'm going to start with some basics on how to start becoming frugal. So a lot of people will hear frugality and they'll think, oh, you just have to penny pinch everywhere and you can't ever spend money, and that's not true. So I spend about $18,000 a year, between 18 and 20,000. I make more than twice that, so a lot of my money is going into investing. So I don't even make $50,000 a year. I'm recording this in my house, so I live in a house. That's a lot of fun. I bought it. I live in a very low cost of living area, so that's really helpful. I have a low cost of living, and that helps me save more with a low salary. So 3 tips I want to get into, and I'm going to share this one from Quora because sometimes I use Quora. I answer questions on there it helps me because I see what people are interested in. But one of the biggest things I get asked to answer on all the time is, how do I start becoming frugal? So I want to give you 3 tips. It's 3 tips on how to become more frugal. And these are really simple things and they add up. So I'm going to go to my page here, and so one of the first things I talked about is making your own food. So when I first moved back to my hometown, I was spending a lot of money on eating out every day, and that really adds up. It doesn't seem like a lot. You might spend like $10 on a lunch. That doesn't seem like a big deal, but here's how I lay it out for you, okay? That $10 that you spend is multiplied by 5 if you do it every day, every work day, say. So that's $50 a week, and that's $200 a month. That's $2,400 a year that you're spending on food just for lunch. So what I usually tell people is, like, you start packing your own lunch. So this is one of the first things that I did when I wanted to start becoming more frugal, is I just started packing my own lunch. And I could not believe how much money that saved. Like, it sounds, the way I lay it out, it sounds like a lot on paper, and it is, but just doing that, just being mindful of like spending on lunches, that saved me all of a sudden, like at the end of the 2 weeks, as I was about to get my next paycheck, I realized I still had money left over, which is great because that means you got money to invest, and that can start building wealth for you. We're going to talk about that on this channel too, but for this first one, that's what we got. So how do you do that? Well, one of the investments I made was I think I spent about $30 or $40 on a crock pot, and you can make all kinds of stuff in there. It's super simple. Most of the time, it's just a matter of throwing the ingredients in, and that's really all there is to it. You throw the stuff in the pot, and it cooks in about 4 or 5 hours on high or low for longer. You forget it, go about your day, do what you want to do, and then you come back to it, and you have lunches for the week. You put them in a big pot, and then you put that with maybe some an orange or an apple and some nuts or granola bar or whatever, and you've got lunch. And I still treat myself to a lunch every once in a while, or I'll go out with somebody for lunch, but not doing it every day. I was literally going every day, and a lot of people do that. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't seem like much, but it really adds up. And you can make sandwiches, you can make salads, depending on what you want to do. It also cuts down on the calories too. So I think that's important to a lot of folks, keeping healthy. And so I highly recommend that. So that's a great tip. That's a good first tip to really get started, and it will make a huge difference. So tip number 2, and this one, I think a lot of people have gotten away from this already, but my God, if you are paying for cable, you are wasting your money. Cable is unbelievably expensive. It's completely unnecessary in today's world. You have plenty of services that you can substitute, like Netflix. I'm a big fan of Netflix. I think I'm paying like $16 a month now. I mean, that's next to nothing compared to cable bills where it can go to like $80 or $90. I mean, that's crazy to me. It's a lot of money to spend for, TV that you're probably not going to watch that much. And, I often hear that nothing is on, and I think that's true. I just don't think anything that good is on. You can easily get that. I would rather have that on demand anyway. So the main issue with cutting cable back in the day was always sports. Well, now ESPN has a streaming service. So you can down for Netflix and ESPN, you've got your TV watching and your sports watching covered, really. I mean, and then there's stuff that pops up on YouTube, so you can watch stuff on YouTube. I actually watch a lot of content on YouTube, and now I'm on YouTube. Hey, but yeah, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to have cable today. I don't understand why people do. I think sometimes it's just habit, but it's so unbelievably expensive. I remember looking into it once because I wanted to watch my local sports team, the Milwaukee Brewers, and I thought, yeah, that'd be a nice thing to do. I'm like, well, I guess if it's like $40 or $50, that one, I could get it for a summer or something, or for the season. Nope, they told me it would be $90 some, and that was like 10 years ago. So I can't even imagine what it costs now. The fact is, people have been asking cable companies to have like an a la carte option for a long time, and they never listened because they didn't have to. So guess what? Some business came along and disrupted them. A lot of you probably have Amazon Prime too. You get TV for free there too. So I really think one great way, if you are spending on cable, just cut it. You don't need it. There's plenty of other options, and you won't miss it. I promise you. I promise you won't miss it. That's the thing with a lot of stuff within the frugality realm, is that you think you're going to miss it more than you do, and you might a little bit at first, but it doesn't take long to get to the point where you're like, wow, I really didn't need that. There's a principle called hedonic adaptation that maybe I'll do a video on at some point that explains more of this. But basically the idea is that whatever you get used to, you get used to, or whatever your reality is, you get used to that. So if I buy a brand new car, I'm going to be super excited about it for a month. Kind of excited for maybe a couple more months, and then after 3 or 4 months, it's just my car. And now it's the baseline. So now if I get a worse car, I'm going to be unhappy, and my fancy sports car is only going to make me, marginally satisfied. So it's not really worth the money. But we'll get into that in more detail in another video. So the one more that I wanted to do today, that I wanted to talk about, one more frugal tip, the third one, and this is a big one, and I feel like a lot of people don't know about this one. But you can save a lot of money on your phone service. So so when I moved back to my hometown, I joined a family plan with my sister, and even on her shared plan, I was paying between $45 and $55 a month, depending on how we split the bill. And the add line was like $20, but I didn't want her to foot the brunt of the bill, so I was helping her out a little bit more. So we felt that was a fairly fair split based on it. But so $45, $50 a month, right? So right now, I'm spending about between $10 and $30 a month. So how am I doing this? I do it with a service called ping.com. I'm going to put a link in the description after this video post, so you guys can see. You guys can look for it for yourself. There's a bunch of ones like this. Republic Wireless is another one. And I don't know what you would call the exact category, but essentially they're like online-based phone services that work on other carriers' networks. And they're ridiculously cheap. So like I said, the one I have, like it basically charges you by the minute, or by, so many minutes equals so many dollars, so much data equals so much amount. And you will get a bill at the end of the month. My bill has, at the most, I think, was about $35. And the only reason it was that much is because I was making calls. I was calling into meetings because of the pandemic that I had to cover. And so that was actually costing me more than it normally would. And actually, I've learned since that I can use Google Voice to call into those meetings, which is more convenient for a lot of reasons. I can use the audio right on my computer, which is very convenient, but also the fact that it's, it's free. Kitty. Yeah, my kitty cat's back there. I don't know if you can see him. Kitty. Hey, kitty. Higgins likes to save money too. He's a good kitty. And I'm not even using my light. I should probably use my light. I'll do that next time. I think the light's pretty good today. So yeah, so really there's a bunch of them and they're way cheaper. You can use the same phone. I ported my old iPhone 6 over. Eventually I bought a new one, which actually I got a really good deal on. I got like $200 in phone credits, so my cell phone bill was like free for a while. So I got a new iPhone 8, but I do like the iPhone, so maybe that's my one of my indulgences. But I got it, like I said, I got a pretty good deal, and I only replace my phones when they go completely dead. So those are my 3 tips. Like I said, you can find those online. Ting.com is the one I use, and I'll put my referral code in the link so we can get, we both get a benefit if you sign up. But really, I'd be happy if you go with any of these, because there's a lot of good ones out there. Republic Wireless is a popular one amongst the frugal financial independence crowd. And like I said, thanks for joining me today. It's been really great. This video gets smoother as I get used to doing this. Usually I'm interviewing people instead of just standing in front of the camera talking, but I hope you enjoyed this. Please give the video a thumbs up, and I hope you'll subscribe to this channel so you can see more tips on saving, investing, and growing your net worth. I'm FrugalBC. Thanks for joining me.